on. So Speaker Silver understands what's important to labor. He said so. I hope that Attorney General Andrew Cuomo will begin to say the same things.
I see sort of a split that is happening here that I think that Andrew Cuomo is trying to capitalize on. He worked very hard to build support among the private sector unions. That would be the RWDSUs of the world, the supermarket employees, the building trades guys, the pipe fitters, engineers, carpenters, steam fitters, etc. And then seeing those as sort of or casting them as the real working men and women of New York, whereas the public employees maybe are making government too expensive. Are you concerned about that split that he's trying to drive a wedge through the labor movement?
Well, I would certainly be concerned about any split within the labor movement. I don't agree, at this point anyway, that Andrew Cuomo was clearly trying to drive that wedge himself. I think it's it certainly is good food for conversation, and I'm sure that it'll dominate the conversation for a while. But I am not seeing that directly from Andrew Cuomo. I understand fully where he is. He spoke to the AFL-CIO a few weeks ago. He understands where NYSET's going to be, where ASME's going to be, and so he spoke to those he thought would be able to support him, and they did today.
Do you see going forward a potential battle with him in labor? Because it's clear that he's not going to. He thinks that people, and he has said, that people who endorse him now are also endorsing his platform. He's going around the state and asking New Yorkers, regular voters, to sign a petition that says, I support Andrew Cuomo's platform, which has to do with budget reform, ethics reform, I don't know, all sorts of random things. Constitutional convention, which is something that your union doesn't support. Many unions don't support because it would reopen Pandora's box, if you will, and then it could potentially be problematic. Are you worried going forward there will be a labor executive war if Andrew Cuomo is elected?
I will say unequivocally that the AFL-CIO today endorsed the candidacy of Andrew Cuomo. They did not endorse the platform of Andrew Cuomo. I am totally sure of that. I am confident that where we disagree on his platform, Dennis Hughes and the rest of us will speak very loud and very forcibly to any candidate that we disagree on. But there was no endorsement of a platform. There was support for an individual who was running for governor.
Now, you have clearly a supporter and a champion in the Assembly in Shelley Silver. The Senate, maybe not so much. There was some interesting things that happened at AFL today, which was the unendorsement, if you will, of a number of incumbent senators on both sides of the aisle. What happened there?
Well, let me start with saying I won't say that we don't have a friend in the leadership of the Senate. I think that Senator Sampson is our friend. We are trying to work very clearly with him. But as he has said in his own words, the Democratic Party is a party that expresses its views. And so keeping that conference with the slim majority it has expressing the same view when it comes time to vote is a challenge for him, and we clearly understand that. Having said that, we have looked at the Senate very clearly. NYSET has, and the AFL-CIO did today, and that is it's no longer about one-house bills and hiding behind that concept. You need to not only support our issues, but you need to be an advocate for our issues. And the word endorse should mean something. The word endorse says that we support your policies because your policies support ours. That's why we withheld support from almost half the Senate at NYSET. That's why a lot were withheld today at the AFL-CIO. And that's really a significant part of why there was no endorsement in the gubernatorial race.
This is significant because it could be a low turnout election, and labor has been relied on traditionally to get out the vote. So that means that the AFL and the unions that are part of it will not be getting out the vote for these candidates. Is that correct?
It is correct. For those candidates, we will not be getting out the vote. It is a critical year. And what I think you're going to hear us say, and you are hearing me say, is, again, abusing a word we use too much, transformational. This is transformational for us. The transformation is that it can't be business as usual. It can't be the lesser of two evils. It can't be we've done it before and why not do it again. We're taking the position that endorse means something. You need to earn it. And when you earn it, we will be there for you rock solid.
Do you care to bet who's going to control the Senate after November?
No, I don't care to bet on who's in control. I'd sooner go to Saratoga tomorrow and see what happens, which I'm okay because it's dark tomorrow.
And you actually probably would have better luck, because I think that it's a complete toss-up at this point. At least everybody I talk to says so.
I would say that we're prepared to deal with whomever is in power come Election Day.
Well, Dick Iannuzzi, it's always a pleasure. I really want to thank you for coming by.
Same here. I'm glad to be here every time,
Thanks.
anytime.